Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jenny Chess, and today we will discuss um about next generation, but this time we will talk about the interests. So, like what will be their interests basically in the future. But first, we last month we talked about the next generation of kids, right? Like how I talk about, new kids start to appear in my neighborhood, right? Out of sudden there's just a lot of kids, a lot of children playing, playing ball and then, riding bikes everywhere, playing kites and stuff like that, right? So, since we're on that, discussion about talking about the next generation, um, I thought that might we might as well discuss about their next, interest, right? Like what will be their interest in the future. So first, like, um, like we don't know what's gonna happen in the future, right? But by our experience we can kind of use that for extrapolation, right? And use the previous data for what's gonna happen in the future basically, although this one is not really data but it's more like what I thought was our things that grew up with us, right? Like what's there with us, and how those things will affect us in the present, right, as well as in the future as well for the next generation. So let's talk about the period of time as well and the generation, because when I talk about next generation, I kind of want it to be a little bit more specific. So for me, for my generation, it's about the 1990s until 2000, right? Um, with as for 2022, we are all now aged around 21 until 31, right? Or 32, basically. um and yeah, and then there's also the next generation which I'm going to talk about, which was from 2000 until 2010, right? um yeah, so in this one specifically, well, we can also talk the next 10 years as well, so it's basically like one decade generation specifically. This one, there, as for now, 2022, right? As for now, they will age around 11 until 22. And yeah, so they're like almost in their production age, right? Or productive age, basically. The age where they will start working and then start like doing job and stuff like that, right? Like what are their interests right now in the world? Well, like what's currently trending as for 2022 is, I would say, content creating, right? Content creation, that's just a main thing, right? With all the social media and lots of people using their phones to watch stuff, right? Like YouTube and then TikTok, Instagram and stuff like that. um you know I feel like lots of kids, not really kids but lots of teenagers that are in this range, 11 and 22 years old as for now, will consider content creation as a focus, right? Like as their main job, surprisingly, right? And in a way it's great, because we all in general will need lots of entertainment, right? But then again, if all of most people are doing content creation, then what about people who will do the jobs at the office, 9 to 5 job, and then who will run the industry and stuff like that, right? But in my opinion, that is not really important right now, because like I still don't have any job as of I'm recording this. And there's just a lot of people, at least in my country, that will always eventually got accepted in one of those job application, right? Eventually I will also get accepted, hopefully, right? But as for now, what I'm seeing is that job is still smaller than the amount of people. So this always got fulfilled. Therefore, there is no need to worry about these jobs won't have anyone, because most people will do content creation. But yeah, I think that's again not really a problem. Even if all these people that I you know scratch over here go to the content creation, there's still these people, right? And this amount is still bigger than the amount of job, right? And I think that will get covered, and it won't be a big deal. I would say, although therefore you will lose all of the the capacity of these people. Maybe all these guys will suck at their job, right? And maybe some of these people from here uh, actually had something, right? um, but that's not really our problem, right? That will be the problem of the whoever is doing interview, or like basically filtering out people, right? Like myself got filtered out, although I'm optimistic that I actually have something, but they just nope me out, right? Well, that's on them, that's their fault then. And that's about it. And yeah, not really a concern for me. Like, you know lots of people doing content creation, then that's fine. The in real life thing will still have some people on it as well. But what would that be? It means that if anyone is content creator, then who will watch the video, right? Maybe the fellow content creator as well. Like, they can make schedule, right? Like Monday who will stream, Tuesday and stuff like that. Or just do it semi competitively. Like, everyone will do their best, will do anything, whatever it takes to be number one, to be on trending, on top of the trend, to be just like having the best contents out there, right? And sometimes it needs luck as well, depending on what suddenly people enjoy as well, right? um but yeah, then lots of people will try, and then most of them will fail. And in a way it can actually get into their mental as well, right? Like, they're working hard, but how are they not getting enough attention, right? Then what's something wrong? And that kind of stuff might actually affect all these content creators mental health, right? And me myself, I do this for hobby. So just to fill out my free time, basically, while I'm searching for actual job, right? um so I consider this as hobby. So if no one's actually watching, then it's fine for me. At least I will keep making this nonetheless anyway. Whether it will get watched or not, then whatever. I just do this for fun, for my hobby as well. For like share knowledge. And like I said in the 92nd or 91st episode, where we talk about the quarter of this, right? The quarter, the 25% of 1 year 365, as well as I think I also talk in the my 250th video, which was just a few days ago, right? Go watch that if you haven't already. There I explain about this more in detail. But yeah, back again. That's for people in 2000 until 2010, right? Because like right now, um, social media stuff has been increasing, right? Has been popular. Therefore, their attention is towards this. It kind of motivates them to do the same thing, right? And then, to try out some stupid things, right? Which obviously will, in certain part will be dangerous, right? Because, like, what if this, teenager basically don't know that all in social media are fake most of the time, and they just everything is staged and scripted, right? Like, what if they don't know about that, so they do stupid things without actually being watched from professionals and stuff like that, and can actually make themselves injured in the process, or being harmful for them in general. So yeah, it might be bad as well, right? And then there's also other thing that's currently trending because of COVID in 2020 or 2020, until now it still even exists until now, surprisingly. And yeah, like, it will affect them, right? Like, all of their um like, during the period of time where we need to stay at home, like, all of the time is done online, right? It means that they have a lot of time, free time at home, right? And for some people, they use this for opportunity to increase their other skills in, or knowledge in anything in general, right? So I would say that these kids have lots of knowledge as well by their self, so that, like, self-driven learning, right? They learn everything by themselves, in online, through online and stuff like that, as well as making all these social media contents as well, right? And yeah, there's that. So is that good thing or bad thing? Well, obviously it's great thing, right? When I was still in high school, and then I went to school, and then I went home. As soon as I'm home, I just sleep, right? Take a nap basically, because I was so exhausted and tired, right? And but the thing about this is that since they're at home already, so they had more time, right? uh, because since they're at home, then they can get energy, like, from eating from home and stuff like that, right? Although it's now we're back at offline again. School is open already, public places has been reopened and stuff like that. Um therefore I would say that it will be a transition as well, like, most of the time they were on online, right? But since up to this, it kind of becoming offline again. Therefore, they didn't really continue whatever they're doing while online era happened, right? Like, since they're offline at school, then like, basically they left everything they did while online is a thing, right? Like, I don't know, maybe they still do it during free time, free space, free time and stuff like that, and only make contents every now and then there's that as well, right? But yeah, um and then they can, since this is offline, then they can start finding new actual job as well, right? So that they have the experience, and then they can do for the actual job. But the thing is that, do they always want to um move from whatever they have into something new to their knowledge, but is actually more conventional, like the old style? Do they actually preserve their own thing, like whatever they have during the stay at home era, or they just leave them and going back into school and like doing job, getting experience and stuff like that, being intern, that's like a potential as well, right? And yeah, there's that. Like, if it was me, I think I will, kind of put them in balance. I wouldn't, forget what everything that I have created, obviously, but that doesn't mean that I don't want this one as well. Like, being an intern, learning in school, like communicating with other people in real life as well and stuff like that, right? Like, this is still as important for me at least. So I'm making this like kind of balance. I don't just drop everything I had and like doing this only, right? That's a little bit weird because yeah, like why would I delete everything that I have created, right? um I mean, some people will actually would actually do this, like, like they didn't really see the future of this, therefore they just stick to the old conventional way, right? The working in office, working in industrial stuff, industrial place, and and such. Instead of doing the content creation job, I don't know if it can actually be called job as well, because I would say like it's either you getting luck and you getting the speed way, the quick way, the fast way, you know, working on the fast lane, just got those luck, just ride them up to the top, and then you suddenly die or dropping because people start to getting bored, people forgot about you, or you're just taking the easy path, doing little by little, but it keeps increasing, like every time, right? And it will eventually going up as well if you continue all this, right? um, but yeah, it's like whether you are patient enough to take the slow lane, or just getting reckless and take the quick lane, and become a one hit wonder, basically. Like based on my observation, like, yeah, like most of the one hit wonder, they just got like in such small amount of time, and then kind of dropping, right? And then still increasing as well in the end. But yeah, there's that. um so yeah, I think that's like what generally I think about what would people in 2000 until 2010 would think about in terms of interests. Like, my sibling was born in this area, right? And they kind of, I would say they kind of went the old fashioned way, because again, we live in Asia, right? We didn't really have much options. Like, we're not free to do anything over here, unlike maybe in the US, where everything can be whoever they want, right? Here, there's still the pressure from our parents, like basically they kind of remind us that, like, let's just do the, like certain things, like do certain things with a certain amount of money, right? Um, like all this CC content creation is new to them, and they kind of don't want to risk it. Therefore, most of the kids still in the shades of their parents, where they're still getting pressured to do whatever they're doing in the past. And I think this is bad, because then um, they're not evolving, right? Basically, they stop their children from evolving into something new and something potentially big, right? Which I think is very bad. Like, my sibling is still focused on the school, and then focus for the university as well, and then like basically still getting pressure to be number one, like any other Asian kids, getting pressure from their parents, to become the smartest kid in the class and stuff like that, right? Which I think again, I would say it's pretty inhuman. The more I think about it, it's just not healthy to pressurize your kids just like that. Um, it because again, like, we live in different time, right? This is not your time anymore. Everything evolve rapidly. Therefore, we need to embrace that evolution, not trying to, like, trying to devolve them. That's not the thing, because if you're not evolving, then you will lose basically. In the end, you will be the one who is losing. And yeah, still, she also do something else, like, um kinda she did like some kind of, she's doing a reselling book as well, like, she likes reading books, right? Therefore she got lots of books, and then she read it carefully, and then she repackage it, again resell it, and then resell basically. um and yeah, it's still great. Basically, she got free book, right? Because not free book, but more like free knowledge what's in the book, because she read it, then she sold it again basically. And that's about it. It's great, honestly. That's a little bit creative, right? And yeah, as for me, like, I'm kind of not good at education and stuff like that. Therefore, I'm just good at English, I would say, compared to our people, right? Because here English is not our main language. It never was. It's considered as like a third language, even. Like, it's like, do it yourself. If you want to do it, then do it. We're not pressurizing you to learn English. So we also don't need English. That's basically it. But for me, I have like a thought that English is very important, because you can talk to other people, you can be open minded and talk to other people internationally, right? um like, basically knowing what others thinking, and you can speak your mind as well to others, because again, language is a barrier, right? At least here in my country. Therefore, English is, kind of a barrier in itself. Only those who actually learn English and use it properly, who will, like, know English, because we never, got driven into learning English in first place anyway. So yeah, there's that. I think that will be it for today's discussion. We didn't really get to mention anything about people from 2010 until 2020, right? What about this generation, this era of generation, the next decade? Well, there certainly is still kids, right? Like they're still kids. There's still 1 year until 12, I would say, until 2022, right? Yeah, still 1 year until 12 years. They're basically like elementary school kids right now. The 12-year could be, you know, uh, like, um, like, not really high school, right? But med school basically. Uh, Not med school. What is it called again? There is elementary school, something school, and then high school, right? Like, yeah, they're still there. I lost my word. I didn't recall what its name again. Junior high school, but oh, middle school. Okay, so yeah, middle school. There you go. They're still probably like the 12 years old middle school. It's like a little bit extreme, right? They're a little bit too early for that, I would say, but yeah, whatever. I think that would be it for today's discussion about that. Again, we didn't have the chance to talk about this one, but it will be interesting. Maybe we'll have another episode like this in the future as well. But yeah, that's what I think about the next generation interests about the world, about what would be their job when they reach their productive age, like in 25s and something like that, right? But yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again tomorrow with another discussion, and see ya.